everyone. Welcome again to the monthly series of Mozambique Guest Summit in partnership with Impact. This episode, we have a very successful and serial entrepreneur called Marta Madeira. She is the MD of Actos Consultores and other many companies, which she will have the pleasure of telling us all about it. Marta, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Anicha. It's an honor to be in this space and to be invited to this interview. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
So to get us started, tell us about yourself.
Well, I like to first see myself as a Mozambican woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I have 3 businesses. I am a mother. I have 2 kids and 6 grandchildren. So, and I also, as an entrepreneur, I said I have 3 businesses. One of them is Actos, which is an HR company. Then I have coaching, which through Mente, we offer self-development services, including life coaching. And then I also have a service at the airport that wraps baggage, security of baggage when you are traveling. So I see myself running these 3 businesses. So that's pretty much summarize who I am.
So it will be very interesting to then know what has been the current challenges you've been facing during the COVID pandemic.
Well, each of the businesses has its own challenge. Like, for example, Actos being an HR consultancy company, we've been in the market since 2011. And doing recruitments and manpower solutions, and also doing payrolls and all other ranges of services. With COVID, we've seen different dynamics in the different segments. For example, in recruitment, when we had the first wave of COVID, in last year, there was a significant decline in that. Many companies were very cautious about, bringing on more people with all their certainty. It was quite new in the market. So we saw a big decline in that range of service. However, in offering outsourcing and manpower solutions, we saw quite a decline, an uprise on those services, especially because we also tend to cater for the health sector, and there have been quite a few projects coming on. And also in payroll processing, we've seen an increase. Now, with coaching services and all the mental health issues associated with COVID and people being confined and having to create new dynamics like teaching their kids, being the one supervising the education and working from home and trying to find that balance, we've seen a bigger increase. People are looking more and more to have support in how they manage their emotions, how they, how they incorporate all the changes that COVID brings. So that's, there's been quite an increase there. But on the airport services, on the wrapping, because people are traveling less, then there we saw a bigger decline to a point where we had to lay off a couple of staff in order to keep the flow going. So with the different business and the different segments of the service we offer, we've seen different dynamics. And also for us, having to adjust to all the needs of COVID, like trying to create a workforce that can work from home and also be productive. Hasn't been easy. It also brought its own challenges, trying to get people to really remain productive within the working hours that are necessary. So those are few challenges that we've had. I must say we've been very lucky that despite everything, we still maintain ourselves in the market. We are still open. We can still function.
Well, I'm really happy for that, because it has not been a very easy period for a lot of small companies, as you know, especially in Mozambique. A lot of companies have either downgraded, shut down, or frozen operations. So, you know, it's nice to know that whatever has happened, people have found very innovative or clever solutions to continue the operations. So, you know, going into the sector a little bit, how has this sector benefited your business, and what are the opportunities in the sector for you?
Yeah, I can't really say I am totally happy with how things are going. For small companies like mine, you know, offering HR services, I was expecting that we would really have a lot more opportunities. But what we've come to conclude so far is that many of these opportunities that come to Mozambique come already with most of the services already allocated to external parties, to international companies that then they come and they open in Mozambique, and they tend to get the bulk of the business. That's one challenge. And of course, we as Mozambicans, as local companies, we also have to learn to be more aggressive and really position ourselves so that we get all the visibility. So, I mean, that's one. The second aspect is that, okay, in order to tap into this market, it's one strategy that I've found to, you know, to bring some results for my company is to actually partner with an external entity, so that through them, which I think shouldn't be, through them we can tap into some businesses. So I think in this sector, there are still a lot of challenges in order to really bring in the local content into benefiting Mozambicans, or at least building the Mozambican companies so that they are at the level of, you know, being to seem acceptable to offer the services. And one third issue, Anicha, that I have to add is that is the issue of the requirements that the tenders solicit. Many of our companies are not even able to go halfway. So if we really want to ensure that the local companies step into these opportunities, I think we need to do collectively, we need to do a little bit more in order to help strengthen the local companies and help them raise to the standards where they can really compete and win some tenders. So those are few challenges. And because of that, I must say that strategically, I decided that I am not going to pursue fully the oil and gas sector. I'm not going to really make it my top priority. I decided I'm going to really build ourselves slowly to be able to meet those standards and be competitive, but also not forget that there is a whole other market that existed before oil and gas, and we must not forget that. So probably that's how I've been able to maintain myself in the business, because I haven't forgotten that, that there are other sectors there. There are other local companies that require services, and yeah. So I don't know if that answers your question a little bit. In summary, there's still a lot to be done for a local company like mine to fully benefit and say, yeah, the oil and sector has brought a lot of benefits to my company. Because in terms of revenue right now, I would say that oil and gas is still like 1 or 2% of my total of the revenue the company makes. It's not significant.
Thanks, Martha. Your points are, they were very, very valid points. And, as we are living this journey, I understand where you're coming from and what you are saying, because we're also living, the same situation. I like the partnership aspect that you spoke about. I think it's something that a lot more companies should tap into. And this is the faster way for us to join the sector while we are slowly preparing capacity to ensure that we can meet the rigid requirements. So what can you as a business offer this sector?
The first aspect is that I understand the mindsets of the local labor. I understand really the systems. I have all the knowledge of the different parties that are necessary to make a smooth operation. I have the local connections. I have the local content. And above all, I know the cultural dimension of how Mozambicans think and how they view things. So in a situation, for example, where an external part would look at it as a conflict, a potential conflict, I can bring a local interpretation of how this person view and what can we do in order to find some common ground. So this knowledge really helps to, when you are managing a workforce, it helps to smooth things out, and having the local connections. Mozambique is a country that functions a lot based on connections, based on who you know in the different sectors, the Ministry of Labor, anywhere. So as a local, I have that network, I have that knowledge, I have that experience. So when I'm providing services, there is very little space for conflict to happen to a point where there is separation of the parties, because I bring that. Yeah. So that's one. That's, I think, a very valid aspect. External parties, they bring, the international know-how, probably also the technology. But if we marry the two aspects, then we can make an even stronger team. That's why the solution of building partnership can really benefit a lot to the sector overall.
Martha, as you know, the Mozambique Gas Summit holds a conference every single year in Mozambique, here in Maputo. So this year will not be an exception. They're going to host one. So what sort of activities or events would you like to see at the Gas Summit?
I think what I would like to see more of is workshops that cater at lifting this capacity of local companies to really tap into the sector and be able to tender, win, and service the companies at the highest level of standard. So if we could have sessions from the companies that, to give us, from what they've seen so far, what are some weaknesses that we show when we tender? Why do we constantly lose? How can we fix that? And really have workshops to help us fix it. And if then between one summit and the other, we could, either the Instituto Nacional do Petróleo or whoever in the government could set up a sort of a company mentorship program to really help the companies on a practical level to actually lift their standards. I think that would ensure that maybe in 5 years, things could change totally. Because to me, Anicha, it's not just about winning tenders. It's also about, after you won the tender, be able to really provide the service, really understand the needs, understand implementing the contract up to the T, and provide really an excellent service. To me, it's really about that. Sometimes I look at a tender, I look at the scope of work, I go like, man, maybe I could even win this, but would I feel comfortable every day when I wake up that I have a team that really rocks at doing this? Sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say, okay, maybe I have to look for people who can help. So getting that really deep understanding of there in the plant, how things really should happen and what would make a local company like mine really be successful at providing that service, that would be super. I think that's where we could go to support local companies. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Martha, for your time, and thank you for answering the questions. So honestly and very informative. I think our listeners today, would have been enriched with information, and we look forward to seeing you at the guest summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I think that's an excellent work that you guys are doing in really hearing our voices, and so that somewhere along the way we can together work to fix what needs to be done for local companies to be able to provide a service. Okay, thank you.
So that's a wrap. Thank you very much for listening in, and stay tuned for next month. We'll have another exciting guest on the show. So from us, Impact and MGS, we hope you have a lovely day, and join us again next month. Have a good day.